Hello, beta Rishika. Tell me your name's meaning. What does Rishika mean? In the meantime, I tell you about myself. I'm waiting for your text to come. My name is Ravneet. Okay, I'll write it down also. It's a very uncommon name. So most people don't know the spellings. Okay, my name is Ravneet. Ravneet, right? And the meaning of Ravneet is light of God. Okay, and my job is educating people, which means I'm spreading light of education. So very happy about it. Hope I'm living up to what my parents must have thought when they named me, right? I don't know the meaning. Okay, so I'll find out next class. I tell you what's the meaning of Rishika. Okay, it makes life very beautiful if you know the meaning, because when your parents name you something, they have certain expectations from you, and if you can live up to those expectations, if you can live up to the name they gave you, it feels beautiful. So I also was in a different job, and since I have started teaching people, since I've come in this line of education, it gives me great satisfaction. I feel that whatever my parents must have thought, I talk to them also, and they say yes, they also are very satisfied. I am so very satisfied. So we start with your science. We have discussed, we know each other. Any other thing you want to know about me, you can tell me, right? I'll tell you the meaning of your name next class. So we're going to buying energy. Okay. At present, we are using gadgets. I'm using a laptop. You are using a laptop. You must be having a AC running, or you must be having a source of light, a bulb or tube light. Okay. Now, all these gadgets, all these equipments, they need energy. Got it? Without energy, if there's a power cut, then none of them will function. Okay, so all of them need energy. From where does this energy come? Okay, this energy is supplied to your house or to your school through the mains. Okay, the electricity mains. Now, in the mains, from where does this energy come? Well, in the mains, they generate it. Okay, how do they generate it? Now, you'll study in your higher classes, okay, something known as a dynamo or a generator, okay, which is a device which helps us convert mechanical energy into electrical energy, which means if we rotate this dynamo or this generator, then it generates electricity. Okay, now if we have huge generators, huge dynamos, then we need a lot of energy to rotate them. How do we get such energy? So there are different methods. We'll talk about them in this chapter, where we have generation electricity, generation power, generating energy part. Okay, so we'll study there. At present, I just give you an idea that we use steam or water stored in dams to turn these turbines, and these turbines in return generate electricity, which we supply. Okay, these generate AC current. Again, you'll study these in higher classes. We have got direct current, that is DC current, and we have got AC current, that is alternating current. Okay, the current which is supplied by the mains, okay, is AC current. So it can be supplied to long distances without any loss of power, and people in distant areas, it's generated thousands of kilometers away, and thousands of kilometers away the people are using it, and the energy has been sent to them without much loss, right? Now, one major method of generating this electricity is by burning fossil fuels. I told you that we will use some kind of energy to turn the turbines. Okay, so the first thing which I told you, that we use steam. In most of the cases, we use steam. That is, we heat up water. The water turns into steam. and then this steam is contained in containers at very high pressure, and we let it out. Okay, it comes out with a lot of force, forcing the turbines to rotate, thus generating electricity. Okay, so which means ultimately which energy was it? The energy which we used here is chemical energy. Okay, fossil fuels. Now, what are fossil fuels? Do you know something about fossil fuels? If you know, you can write it to me. Do you know anything about fossil fuels? What do you mean by fossil? You must have heard about fossil of dinosaur being excavated. Okay, people finding fossils of animals which were never spotted before, which we never knew about before. So give me an idea. What are fossil fuels? How much you know? And then I further, elaborate upon whatever knowledge you have. Let me get an idea. What do you know about fossil fuels? You know, if your text keeps on coming, I know that you are connected and you're listening, and it becomes easier, and I love my classes to be interactive. So whatever you write, it gives me energy, and then we move on. We are talking about energy. I derive my energy from the feedback given by my children to me. Waiting for your response. Yeah, Rishika, you're writing something? Okay, there it comes. I've heard it somewhere, but I don't know the meaning. Okay, I'll tell you. Now see, I told you, you must have heard about the fossils of dinosaur being excavated, right? Which means they dig deep into the earth and they find fossils. What are fossils? They are the dead remains. Okay, we now pull out those bones and we put them together to get an idea how the dinosaur must have when it was alive. Okay, now when from where do you get your energy? Next question. I'll keep on interacting, and if you keep on writing, like you said, I have heard it somewhere, but I don't know the meaning. Don't worry, I'll explain the meaning to you. Okay, so you have to give me the next answer. How do you get, from where do you get your energy? What do you think? What is the source from which you get your energy? From where do you get your energy? Okay, waiting. You know, we do a lot of activities, like I'm talking at present, I'm batting my eyelids, okay, I'm moving my hand. So for all this, I need energy. My heart continuously beats, my brain continuously controls so many things. They also need energy. From where does this energy come? Don't worry. Like, you can write anything, what comes to your head. Food is the right answer. Wonderful. Okay. So Rishika, we eat food. Okay. Now I say that from where does the energy come into the food? The ultimate source of all energy is the sun. Okay. We also get our energy from the sun. Now I'll tell you how. Now the sun's radiations, they come to the earth, heat energy from the sun comes to the earth, and we have got plants. Okay, now these plants do something known as photosynthesis. I know, don't you worry. That's why I wait. I know it takes time, don't worry about it. I'll wait always patiently. I have a lot of patience. I'll wait patiently for your reply to come, and then I move on. Okay, now these plants, they do a process known as photosynthesis. Okay, and they use the sun's light and carbon dioxide and water to prepare something known as glucose, which is stored in them in the form of starch. Okay, Now you eat potatoes, you eat potato chips, right? What do they contain? They contain starch. That's why they say you shouldn't be eating a lot of potatoes or not of eating a lot of potato chips. You'll grow fat because it is only carbohydrate. It's not a balanced diet. It is only carbohydrate. It is only starch. Okay. When we take it in, when we eat it in, then it is converted into energy. So from where did the energy come? The energy came from sun. The plant used it, made it into chemical energy, and now we eat that chemical energy. That means the starch or the carbohydrates. Okay, and now this carbohydrate is giving me the energy because of which I can do all this. I can move, I can talk, I can do anything. My heart beats, my brain functions. So our ultimate source of energy also is sun. So now the plants are also using the sun's energy. We also are using the sun's energy. All of us are living. The plants also are living. The animals also are living. Now when we die, very nice, carbohydrates is the correct answer. Okay, so when we die, what happens? We get buried under debris. Okay, Hindus generally, put us on the pyre. That's different. Okay, some people have graves. They dig graves and they put the dead in it. Okay, suppose something happens, an avalanche, something, and a lot of people and vegetation gets buried. Okay, now these which were once living, now they have become dead and they are buried under earth, and over millions of years lots of earth piles upon them. Okay, and now under heat and pressure, with the passage of time, these turn into fossil fuels. The plants now become coal. Okay, on the other hand, the animals which were buried, they change into oil. Okay, crude oil which we dig out. So this coal, petrol, crude oil, diesel, whatever from oil, these are known as fossil fuels. Okay, now you know that they are limited. Okay, it's not that they are in abundance and we can keep on using them. Okay, so the first thing is that they are very limited. Got it? And that's why they are, I said it takes millions of years for fossil fuel to form, which means if I exhaust my reserves today, I won't be having it for millions of years, right? So these are non-renewable. We say that we cannot renew them. So fossil fuels are also known as non-renewable. That is the first problem. The second problem is that when I burn them, they emit carbon dioxide. Okay, they emit carbon dioxide. Now carbon dioxide is not useful to us in any way. Okay, of course plants use it for photosynthesis, but to us they are not useful in any way, and their increasing percentage will cause air pollution. Okay, we'll not be able to breathe properly, we'll get diseases related to the lung. Okay, so they add a lot of carbon dioxide to the atmosphere, and most scientists agree that this increasing addition of carbon dioxide is causing global warming. Okay, now what is global warming? That's my next question. Long time you have been hearing me. Okay, so now let me get a text from you and let's understand what global warming is. We'll discuss this in detail. I just again want to get an idea. I hope you have understood fossil fuels. Okay, fossil fuel is the fuel which is made by nature over millions of years through living things. It's harmful. Yeah, it's harmful. What is it, beta? What is it? What is global warming? Global means involving the whole globe, the whole world. Warming, which means the temperature is soaring. Year after year, the temperature is rising, which means the earth is becoming warmer. Okay, so a time may come, you know, that it may become so hot. It's already very hot, you know. Everybody is using ACs, the cars are air conditioned, the houses are air conditioned, the offices are air conditioned. And if the warming continues to grow at this rate, then in the coming 100 years, the temperature may rise by more than 10 degree Fahrenheit, okay, which is going to be quite high temperature. And for us then, walking on the roads or playing games outdoors may become very difficult, right? There are many problems associated with it. Okay, now give me a feedback. Have you understood fossil fuels? Have you understood global warming? It's when the atmosphere is breaking and the heat waves hit the earth. Okay, almost right. The atmosphere is not breaking, you know. You're talking about the ozone layer, I suppose. Okay, so you are talking about the holes in the ozone layer, right? What happens that these ozone layers, they don't let the harmful ultraviolet rays come to the earth. Okay, so when the ozone layer has holes, these ultraviolet rays come to the earth, and of course they will add up to the warming. Okay, but global warming is slightly different. Okay, I'll take you to the next slide. I'll take you to the next slide, and then we talk over there. We answer the questions one by one. Okay, here, has the slide changed for you? So the first question which I had asked you is, what is global warming? Okay, so the answer to this is, you talked about the ozone layer. I tell you that you know, in winters we use a quilt. We use a quilt and or a blanket, and we sleep inside the quilt or the blanket. And initially when we enter, it's not that warm, but after passage of a little time, they become warm. I'm sure you must have experienced that. Okay, so how does the blanket become warm? The blanket doesn't generate any warmth, it just traps our warmth. Okay, our body produces a lot of heat. We are only 25% efficient, which means the food which we eat, only 25% amount of the energy of the total food that we eat, we utilize constructively, we utilize for doing things. Rest 75% is wasted. Okay, and generation of heat is one such wastage. Okay, because in summers you don't need your body to generate a lot of heat, but in summers also it continues to produce heat. Okay, and now in winters, when we get inside a blanket, our body, the whatever heat the body was producing, this blanket does not let it escape. Okay, the quilts, they are made up of cotton, and cotton has gaps in it. Okay, it's made fluffy so that it can trap air. Okay, now this cotton has trapped air. Air is a poor conductor of heat, so it does not let heat go out of the quilt, and the heat builds up in the quilt, and after some time the blanket or the quilt feels very warm to us. And when mama tells us to come out of the blanket, we say, no, I'm not going to come out, isn't it? So the same way, these gases which we release, okay, the greenhouse gases and carbon dioxide, they travel up and then they form an envelope. Okay, they form an envelope, and this envelope, you know, it does not let the heat which is radiated back by the earth. The heat comes into the earth, and now this heat is going away from the earth. So this cover, this blanket of these greenhouse gases or carbon dioxide, okay, they don't let this heat go away. So this heat is trapped. And in a similar way that the quilt does not let our body's heat go away and we feel warm, now the earth is becoming warm. Okay, but this is very harmful. Got it? If you have understood, tell me you have understood global warming. Okay, I'll tell you once again. In the meantime, you can type. Okay, once industrialization started over the past 50 years, the average global temperature has increased many folds. Okay, and we believe that in the coming century the temperature may go up by 10 degree Fahrenheit. Okay, and the reason for this is that greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide, whose emission has increased many fold, okay, they trap the heat radiated by the earth, don't let it go out of the earth, and hence the average temperature of the earth is increasing, which is known as global warming. You tell me. Now I'll wait patiently for you to reply. Let me see what have you understood about global warming. Yeah, understood. What? Write a sentence, one small sentence. You have understood that it is harmful. I can see that in the chat. Okay, you have understood that there may be gaps in the ozone layer which let the UV rays come. That's very nice. Then you have written about the heat waves hitting the earth, which we'll do in the second problem. What will global warming, why will global warming cause problems? That's the answer to that. It causes heat waves to hit the earth. Okay, waiting patiently. Let me get a feedback from you and then I proceed further. There it comes. What is the question? The question is, have you understood global warming? Okay, if you have understood, in one line tell me what is it. One line, short thing. Antarctic and the animals. Very nice. Now let's build up on this existing knowledge of yours. Okay, you say that the Antarctic. Okay, now we have got glaciers. Okay, we have got water which is frozen. Okay, the oceans also have water, but that water is salty. It is buffering. No, perfect. Okay, the oceans also have water, but this water is salty and not potable. That is, we cannot use it for drinking and all. Okay. On the other hand, these ice caps, they are a source of pure water. They slowly keep on melting and feeding us with this potable water. Okay. If global warming increases at this rate, then these caps may melt and our reserves of potable water will diminish. Okay, one thing. Second, what had you written? The second thing. Just settle it once. Okay, the second thing, you had written that it affects the oceans. Okay, so the temperature of the oceans also is increasing. Got it? And then what happens, many animals which are not used to, aquatic animals which are not used to living in the this temperature may die. Got it? Done? Okay, I don't know. And your is okay? It's buffering. Just a minute, let me check. Oops, signal is lost. Yeah, connected now. Has it come back? I switched it on. It is connected now. It takes some time. Put on the earphones and just give me a feedback about the sound. Perfect? Okay. I'm sorry, I had lost connectivity, it seems. Okay. Rishika? Can you hear and see me now? Okay, global warming affects the sea, Antarctica, and animals. Okay. So the second thing you had said sea, and we have learnt more about the effect of global warming on sea, right? Just give me a feedback. Can you hear and see me so that I can continue? Rishika, I haven't heard from you since long. The chat was disconnected. So if you give me a feedback, I continue. You can see my system at present says that the chat was disconnected. So are we still connected? Can you hear and see me so that I can continue? Hello Rishika, write something so that I know that you can hear and see me. Give me a feedback. What do you see? Yeah, this is a new one. It means we are connected, but she's not replying. She hasn't replied anything, no? No. Rishika, say something. Write something to me so that I know that you are there. No, one viewer. You're the only viewer. It seems we lost her. No? Okay, there it comes. Yes. Okay. Thank God you're back. I thought I have lost connection with you. Okay. You also can reconnect so that you know. I think you can reconnect once. Okay, now Rishika. So we were discussing the problems caused by global warming. Okay. Then the first problem you had already said that we get hotter heat waves. Okay. The earth gets heated and then it radiates the heat, and because the axis is tilted, so the heating also is uneven. There. Okay, the heating is uneven. The places which are close to the equator, they get more heated, and the places which are towards the poles, they get less heat because of the slanting heat, sun's rays coming to them. Okay, so this uneven heating also causes winds. Okay, hot air rises from these regions and cold air descends from other. So if there is excessive heating, okay, then it will lead to more hurricanes also, because the current of these winds will be greater. Okay, then the more heating may dry up the water bodies. Okay, and it may lead to droughts. Okay, which means we may not be able to do farming. Then since there is greater evaporation of water, so then there will be greater precipitation also, right? Which means we'll have heavier rainfalls leading to floods. So the life is going to be disturbed because of this global warming. Okay. Okay, which means she is quite far behind. Okay. Now the water in the oceans also will get heated up. Okay, which means that now this water also has greater energy in it. Okay, so the ocean temperature will pick up, which means that the tropical storms can pick up more energy. When the tropical storms come, they will have more energy, they will do more damage. Okay, then as we have already discussed, the ice caps melting, the melting glaciers, they will lead to water shortage. We won't have enough potable water to drink. Okay, and then since the ice caps are melting, obviously the sea level also will rise up, which means some islands, some lands may get drowned or they may get flooded, right? So these are the many problems which are associated with global warming. Now I've already told you about fossil fuels. We do a few questions about them. Fossil fuels are energy sources. Write down some uses of fossil fuels. Okay, so I have already told you one. We use these fossil fuels to generate electricity. Then you go to your school, okay, every day in a car. Now the car uses petrol, which again is fossil fuel. Okay, then the vegetables, the grocery, everything comes to your house. They come in trucks. Okay, now these trucks again use diesel, which again is fossil fuel. Okay, then there is a pipeline bringing gas to your house for cooking. Okay, this CNG again is a fossil fuel. So there are so many things. Okay, we use gasoline, we use petrol, we use diesel, we use CNG, we use coal. Okay, then we use this coal for heating purposes also. Okay, in villages, some villages, they still use coal to make their food also, where gas lines are not available, gas cylinders are not available. Then the next question they ask is, why should we reduce the amount of fossil fuel? I have already explained this to you. Okay. Number one, because they are a non-renewable source. So if we use them at a very rapid pace, then they may become exhausted. We may not have any more supplies left. Okay. So it's better to use them judiciously, so that we can use them over a long period, as they are not renewable. Second, which is a bigger problem, is that they emit gases like carbon dioxide. Get me a feedback. Okay, it's going good now. Okay, so the second problem associated with these is that they emit gases like carbon dioxide, which along with the greenhouse gases like methane, okay, nitrogen oxide, then they cause global warming, which leads to many problems. Okay, so that's why we should be using less amount of fossil fuel. Then the last one, what other energy sources can be used to generate electricity? That's very easy. I have discussed with you one source, okay, and that source is, we can generate hydroelectricity. We can build dams across rivers. Okay, we can collect the water, it rises above the earth, gains potential energy, and then we change this potential energy into kinetic energy, and we change the kinetic energy into electrical energy. That one way we can do. Then in your previous slide, okay, Dale Wins. Dale Wins is someone who set up a company, okay, that uses the wind energy, and changes into electricity. Okay, so we have got large windmills. You can see a whole farm. Okay, we have windmills, and these windmills are being rotated by the force of the winds, and this kinetic energy is then converted into electrical energy and supplied to our houses. So you should remember that Dale Wins is one such person who has helped us reduce the consumption of fossil fuel, who has pushed us towards a direction wherein we can use a renewable source to generate electricity. Right? I'm sure you must have understood. Are you have you understood all this? If you have understood, give me a yes, so that we can continue. Okay, we got two more questions. I'm sure we'll be able to finish it in today's class. We've got around 7-8 minutes. Okay, now the next question which comes up is that suggest some ways in which you can reduce the amount of fossil fuels you use. So the first thing which you should do is conservation. Okay, we tell you children that switch off the lights, switch off the fans, switch off the ACs if they are not required. Don't keep the temperature around 22, 23. Don't bring it lower to that, so that the AC does not end up using a lot of energy. So the first thing which we need to do is conserve energy, reduce the amount of energy that we use. We should not go to the offices, 10 people coming to office in 10 cars. We can do carpooling. Okay, every fourth day one person pulls out his car and he picks up the other 3 on his way. So instead of 4 cars, now 1 car is coming to the office every day. So we are saving, we are doing carpooling, and we are reducing the consumption of fossil fuels. The second thing which we can do is we can go to alternate sources, like this one here. We have using a alternate source, okay, wind energy. Similarly, we have solar energy. We can use the solar panels to generate electricity, which can be stored in batteries and used. Okay, so solar powered cars, solar powered vehicles. Okay, then for cooking also we can use solar cookers. So we can go to sources, renewable sources, instead of being over dependent on fossil fuels. So we can reduce, we can conserve, and also we can go to alternate uses, right? Now we go to the last question for the day. The energy monitor shown in photo A, okay, there's an energy monitor. Here you see, this is the energy monitor. Sure, 2.45, this is the time clock. Behind this, okay, behind this you can see the energy monitor. In front you have a clock over there, digital clock. Behind that, the one which, this one, okay, one which is behind the clock is the energy monitor, okay. Now what does this energy monitor do? This energy monitor tells us how much energy are we consuming, okay. Many of them have these warnings also in it, okay. So if we are over consuming, it starts warning us also. So what can we do? We can control. If we plug in any energy monitor, we can control, we can switch off unwanted appliances, unwanted fans, lights, okay, and it will help us to reduce the amount of electricity we use. Thus we are conserving electricity, thus we are not wasting electricity, and in return we are reducing the usage of fossil fuels, right? I hope you have understood whatever I have taught you. Okay, this was my first class. I didn't want to do a lot many things, but still I have ended up doing quite a lot. Okay, so you can once this class is over, you can always revise this and you can post in your queries. Okay, in case you feel that you need to ask something, you can always post it in the group, and the next class when I come, I will definitely answer your queries, right?